Atlanta for its support of the conference and for hosting a fantastic reception last night. Probably a little too fantastic, but really, really good. Great time. It's so important that we, as business economists, communicate with our Fed colleagues, and events like these go a long way to reinforce these ties. And then to have it at the Johnny Cash Museum was really, really special. So thank you. A shout out to the CFA Society of Nashville, our regional partner, and a special thank you to the recent CFA president, Ann Taylor Knotts, who served on our conference planning committee, and to Angie Brown, the executive director of the Nashville CFAs, who organized tonight's reception. And now, the openers are done. With no further ado, I'm really delighted to welcome our president, NABE President Ellen Zentner, to the stage to introduce Chair Powell. Thank you very much.
That's Madam President. Thank you. Okay, so oh no, I already lost my mic. I'll fix that. Okay. So I have the pleasure over the past year of serving as president of NABE of meeting even more new people than I normally have met. And I've been a member of NABE since 1998. And to cap it all off, I get to close out my presidency this year by hosting and moderating Jerome Powell, which is such an honor. And he's been so generous with his time for NABE. So Jerome Powell was appointed to the Board of Governors in 2012. I'm going to make this very short because if you don't know Jerome Powell, then I'm not sure why you're here. And he was reappointed in 2014. In 2018, he became the chair of the Board of Governors and was sworn in for a second term. He's had a long career in finance, and he's no stranger.
Madam President, I do have some brief comments on the economy and monetary policy, and then I look forward to our discussion. Our economy is strong overall and has made significant progress over the past 2 years toward achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices. Labor market conditions are solid, having cooled from their previously overheated state. Inflation has eased, and my FOMC colleagues and I have greater confidence that it is on a sustainable path back to 2%. At our meeting earlier this month, we reduced the level of policy restraint by lowering the target range for the federal funds rate by a 0.5 percentage point. That decision reflects our growing confidence that with broader economic conditions also set the table for further disinflation. The labor market is now roughly in balance. Longer-run inflation expectations remain well anchored. Turning to monetary policy. Over the past year, we have continued to see solid growth and healthy gains in the labor force and in productivity. Our goal all along has been to restore price stability without the kind of painful rise in unemployment that has frequently accompanied efforts to bring down high inflation. That would be a highly desirable result for the communities, families, and businesses we serve. While that task is not complete, we have made a good deal of progress toward that outcome. For much of the past 3 years, inflation ran well above our goal, and the labor market was extremely tight. Appropriately, our focus was on bringing down inflation. By keeping monetary policy restrictive, we helped restore the balance between overall supply and demand in the economy. That patient approach has paid dividends.
And what did you see that made you feel like you had done enough?
It's a very different situation than the current one, I guess I'd start by saying. But so if you remember, we had raised rates very slowly, I think a total of 9 times, so maybe 2.25% and 2.5%. And what my colleagues and I were feeling in 2019 was significant global economic weakness and also some weakness in the United States economy, and also just a lot of, this was a time of a lot of trade issues, and markets were really uncomfortable, and business sentiment was very concerned. So we cut 3 times, and I felt like at the end of the year, I really felt like it had worked well to settle things down. So we were still, at 175 basis points or something like that. That was that situation. Current situation is one where we raised really quickly to the highest level in 20 years. Policy being about 5.3%, 5.25 to 5.5%, to help with inflation in a world where we had the highest. I would put it this way: it's a reflection of our confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down, our growing confidence that it's moving sustainably down 2%. As I mentioned, our design overall is to achieve disinflation down to 2% without relying on painful increase as often comes with disinflation tests. So that's been our goal all along. We've made progress toward it. We haven't completed on the line between academic often about the labor market, inflation, or anything. I'll get an answer, but usually I get a group of people, and these will turn out to be people who have spent 30 years or 20 years thinking about that very question, and there might be 2 or 3 different opinions or a way to approach that problem in the room. So people, they feel free to disagree with each other.
Feeling things. I'm a little nervous. The 5-minute has a huge fair value gap. It could retrace down to where I took the first partial. I'm allowing it to do that. I don't want to move the stop up yet, even though it looks like it's going really smoothly to the target. Let's see. Time. The macro's coming. That makes me nervous because it could give us a little stop retracement under here. But it's just going. It's up in the daily volume imbalance now. It seemed to have reclaimed this order block. It's a reclaimed order block. Time. That printed a nice first partial rose right there. If this is an optimal trade entry, deep retracement, I'm gonna fucking lose my loins. If it's like, oh yeah, we're just going from here to this reaction. Wow. Wow. I added. We have relative equal highs. Body closed right on top of that. Back to the original plan. That thing fucked me up. But the overall picture's still going.